Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, over on your Highland side. Indeed excited to be here and appreciate the opportunity to sort through this show today. Really strong way for us to start. A young lady brings us a nice February-born heifer calf, one you really got to admire for her balance and just her overall look and quality. I like her extension. I like her profile just in terms of how she's put together, deep and good about her rib shape, still moves adequately. I think as her days continue to mature and she gets older, it's only going to help her. Really nice heifer calf to start out our show. Congratulations to you, young lady, on a nice female. Give her a round of applause.
And I would like to take this time to introduce your Highland judge today, Mr. Corbin Cowles. Corbin is a native of Rockfield, Kentucky, where he grew up on his family's Angus and Simmental cattle operation called Pleasant Hill Farm. He graduated from Oklahoma State University in 2019 with a bachelor's in animal science. While at OSU, he was a member of the 2018 National Champion Livestock Judging Team. He continued on to be the University of Kentucky's livestock judging team coach from 2019 to 2020. Professionally, he is a licensed auctioneer and works for Schrader Real Estate and Auction Company while also helping running his family's operation where they host 2 production sales each year. Corbin has judged shows in 14 different states, including the North American, Junior National Hereford Expo, and more. If you could, join me in giving Mr. Corbin Cowles a round of applause.
Young lady brings us back a second class of this September-born female. This red-tinted one that I like some things about. I think we up it just in terms of foot size and bone. She's really stout constructed, still got a nice attractive silhouette here. One that, again, more days on a feed bucket. I think she'll continue to soften and mature in her body shape, but one that's built correctly. I like her silhouette. I like her design. I think this is a female that has a lot of futuristic potential as well. Another high-quality one here in our second class. Congratulations. This young lady's already brought us a couple very nice ones. Good job.
And over in your Aberdine Showmanship show, I would like to take this time to introduce your judge for today. Dr. Travis Hoffman is employed at the North Dakota State University and the University of Minnesota as the Extension Sheep Specialist Associate Professor and based in Fargo, North Dakota. He is married to his lovely wife, Megan, also employed by NDSU in the North Dakota State 4-H program. He was raised on a diverse commercial cattle registered sheep and grain operation in South Dakota. Travis received his bachelor's degree from South Dakota State University and a master's degree and PhD in meat sciences from Colorado State University. Dr. Hoffman was on a highly competitive collegiate SDSU judging teams and since coached collective wool and meat animal evaluation judging teams. He has judged livestock shows at all levels in over 30 states. The American Aberdeen sets the standard for efficiency of beef production, and Travis is honored to work with the junior exhibitors and evaluate the steed stock cattle at the 2023 North American. If you could join me in giving Dr. Travis Hoffman a round of applause. And placings over in your Highland show are as followed. First place in Class 2 goes entry number 1, TC Maryland, exhibited by Tristan Carmack of Pleasureville, Kentucky. Congratulations. And first place in Class 3 Highland show goes entry number 2, TC Loretta, exhibited by Tristan Carmack of Pleasureville, Kentucky. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors.
Four entries here in this next class of our yearlings, it appears to me, and I liked all four of these cattle quite a bit just for what they offer, but if we start really breaking it down and figuring out which ones balance better, which ones have more symmetry, and ones that I think are built more correctly, the two for the young lady and young man surface. Between the two, there's more gas, there's more power, there's a little more shape and dimension to this red heifer up here on my right. Really like this female for her combination of look and balance and attractiveness, but still big piped and good footed when we get to the surface, moves very flexibly, and we're with good flexibility, and she's got width, she's got dimension, she's got some performance stacked in there as well. I like just a lot of things about this one and how she balances and just puts herself together and still get out on the move. You really like that as well. Cool things about the heifer in second. This gray tinted one is really neat in the way she's hinged and put together, and when she'll cooperate, I think she's very sound. She's very neat in terms of her skeletal build, and she's got a wicked silhouette. Not as much octane, I don't think, in terms of some extra elevation and size, not as much real dimension and shape as the heifer that wins, but one that is very correct in terms of the angles that she moves off of both ends, one that I think just balances really well as well. She's just a structural upgrade for me over the two cattle that'll round out the class, but both this young lady and young man's have some really nice things. They're powerful. They've got some growth. They've got width. I think this young lady's heifer coming in 3, I really like the substance that she shows and how much dimension's there. I just wish we could build her just a little bit better as she gets off from behind, balance her better from the side. Same for the young man's black heifer. That one's good-bodied. She's soft. She's practical. She's just a little too narrow and pinched there out of her hip back to her pin set. I think she just needs to balance a little bit better and put her pieces together from the side. But 4 nice females. Give those young people a round of applause if you would.
And placings in Class 5 of your Junior Highland Show, first place goes to entry number 3, Lavender of Highland Spice, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And second place in that class goes to entry number 6, FSH Red Camilla, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Third place in that class goes entry number 5, T. Ross Summit Ranch Levy, exhibited by Clara Grimes of Waynetown, Indiana. And fourth place in Class 5 goes to entry number 4, CBS Ruth May, exhibited by Mason Grimes of Waynetown, Indiana. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. And now in the ring is Class 6 Senior Heifer Calves over in your Junior Highlander Show.
Good morning, and welcome to the 2023 North American. And I get the chance to sort through your juniors for your American Aberdeen Junior Show here. And again, we're going to start out with showmanship in this particular division. And these are individuals that represent our collegiate division, coming from us from the University of Findlay. And I think a portion to kind of set the record on these is that, of course, the University of Findlay raises these cattle. But they got to pick a little bit of which heifers there are. but also a draw of kind of which ones that may or may not work with them. So maybe not the same connection as ones that they've been working with just exquisitely, because I know these individuals have been working with all of them. And so some of it's luck and of the draw of how those heifers are. But I tried to dig past that and identify the people that I thought were just a little bit more talented, a little calmer there at the end. I think that we've got these initial two here that we're going to talk through that I think are just the most consistent in presentation. And you get those out there, and both as the young lady just parks that one into an attractive profile from the side. I like that as well. The gentleman certainly got a tremendous amount of calmness and poise. I think he's really good and talented of how he holds that head, and that allows that neck posture and that front end design of his heifer there to just look as good as it can. And so consequently, when we dig through the showmanship division, identifying the cooperation amongst those two talented individuals, congratulations to the gentleman. You'll be our champion in the collegiate division. Congratulations to the young lady on our reserve championship. Good job. Both of those represent, again, and we'll put on the University of Finley. We'll let the young lady pull out next. I think she does a good job. A heifer that was a little bit headstrong for her, but I think that the poise that she had and said, you know what, we got this, all right, and getting a heifer to be here on the green chips and enjoy her ride. I can tell that she's got a lot of ring presence and maybe just a little bit of extra experience as well. The young gentleman here next, this heifer is certainly a high quality kind of a female. I think that one's kind of nice of how she's built too, but he's pulling her together as well. One that's, again, just enjoying her time out here, and he has control of it because you can see that he's got that tight up at the front end of its body. The next two young ladies, I think, were very similar. I thought that they did a great job as they got them out on the move, particularly when we get them stopped, maybe not quite as efficient in getting those animals just the profile look that maybe we would ideally like, but a good job as well. Talented individual with the young man with the hat here and the young lady as well with these. I think the young man's got a heifer calf there. Maybe when he gets out and motors with that one, keep that head up just a little bit more, would allow her to kind of drop her top ever so slightly, and the young lady got the tougher draw of a heifer that's excited to be here and makes it a little bit tougher, but I appreciate her hard work as well. Congratulations to those exhibitors, talented groups representing the University of Finley in your collegiate division of the showmanship. Good job.
Over here, over here on your Highland side, single entry here in our senior calf division, but man, I think a female that has a lot of good. Young man brings us one that is deep. She is bold, she is pliable and practical, but still ties it with a nice balanced look here from the side. Really like, for as much mass as she has, I still think she exhibits some quality and feminine feature about her head, neck, and shoulder. One that motors amply good in terms of movement. You know, obviously she is moderate, but I like that on my cattle at home. I don't mind what size they are. She's just got a whole lot packed there into a moderate size package. Has a lot of good features. We'll compare her here in just a second amongst her contemporaries, but a nice female for him. If you would, give him a round of applause on a good female in this single entry class.
And first place in Class 6 over in your Junior Highlander show goes to entry number 500, CBS Evie, exhibited by Colton Cross of Kinderville, Pennsylvania. Congratulations. We're now ready to select your grand champion, Junior Highland, over in Broadbent Arena, and for the 50th anniversary of the North American. Again, we're ready to select your grand champion, Junior Highlander female. And over in your Aberdeen Showmanship show, first place in your college division goes to Connor MacArthur. Congratulations. And second place in that division goes to Callie Newswander. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now showing your senior division in your Aberdeen Showmanship show. Again, we are showing your senior division in your Aberdeen Showmanship show. And again, over in your junior Highland show, we are selecting your grand champion female here at the 50th anniversary of the North American.
We got 4 really nice class winners out here in contention for your champion selection on the Highland side. I like these cattle quite a bit. Didn't quite know what to expect coming into this show, but my goodness, the quality sure is good, despite not just being overwhelmed with numbers. I think all 4 of our class winners and our second place female really have some really nice attributes you got to appreciate and study. As we start to talk about how it kind of boils down, in my opinion, I think both of the calves have bright futures and they're very nice females. Just comparatively to the 3 behind them, they're just not there today to compete for champion honors, but I think those are very nice females, really balanced, really nice and correctly designed. I think they'll be good projects for the young ladies breeding program on down the line. They're just representing a lot of good kind of cattle. In my opinion, the 3 back here would be the ones in contention out here for your championship selection. In my opinion, there's one that kind of combines what the other 2 have in just a better package. And so it really then comes down to, for reserve selection, in my opinion, we have to just weigh out maybe you want a little extra shot of elegance and attractiveness and length, and one that's just a little neater built, or you want one that's got some real power. As the champion selection goes, though, I think the one that's the combination in terms of power, performance, and having some dimension while still being really nicely designed and really good built. She may not have the best disposition, but I think she's the best female. This junior yearling will be our champion. Congratulations.
And your grand champion Highland here at the North American goes to entry at number 3, Lavender of Highland Spice, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Congratulations.
As I just alluded to there, as we were talking about our champion female, I think your reserve selection comes down between the second that was to our champion and the last class winner. Like I said, this one combines a lot of the same attributes I see in both of these into one package. Heifer that was second to our champion has got a really sweet and attractive and neat kind of look. I like her symmetry. I like her design. I like her structure. Comparatively, I wish she had more power. I do wish she was more pulled apart and stouter in terms of her makeup, but that is one that you have to appreciate for overall build and quality design. We get the power back here with this young man's oldest female in the lineup, one that is tremendously deep and bold and broody, one I still think is put together pretty well from the side. Is she as elite and extra as that heifer that was second to our champion in terms of extra femininity and attractiveness? Probably not, but one that I still think has a tremendous amount of broodiness about her and power. So it's really a toss-up. I wish we could give a reserve and third overall out here between these 2. I think if I'm, in my opinion, the one I hinge to in terms of power and stoutness, we're going to use this senior heifer. She'll be reserved. Congratulations.
Correction, your grand champion Highlander goes to entry number 6, FSH Red Camilla, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrisburg, Kentucky. Congratulations.
We're in the showmanship on the senior division here on the American Aberdeen side. And I think that all three of these talented individuals do a really good job. The reason that I give the young lady the nod, I think, is in terms of just presence that she gets out of this female, particularly through that front third. And so giving that extra kind of a snap to it and that extra look just helps to make that heifer look really good. She says she was there, obviously, one that was born on her place, and I've been working with it a whole bunch, and I think it shows off here. And it's great when the efforts and the time comes to fruition here. Congratulations, young lady, in your championship here in the showmanship of the senior division. The young man pushes really hard, and I appreciate the old Red Baldy heifer of knowing that it's the big bright lights of Louisville, but the gentleman does a great job of just maintaining that smoothness and that calmness that we really appreciate, and I appreciate his hard work here with the cooperation with that heifer. That heifer has worked nicely with him throughout the day here, and what I really appreciate here is when he gets that one stopped, just gets a nice look out of her, gets it loined if you needed to, and just gets a super look. Maybe not quite as classy in terms of how she kind of prances around in comparison and how he gets that out of her as the young lady, but there he gets that head up and just gets a tremendous look. Congratulations. He's a talented individual. Appreciate his efforts. The young gentleman also next in line with a real fresh kind of a heifer here, and one that he said this is her first time out, and that's okay. We're all going to have a time that it's the first time, but I think that this one's, when we look at him and bring it back to our showmanship skills, he's got enough poise and confidence. This heifer isn't wanting to dig and kind of be a cooperator as much as maybe he would have preferred when we designed it this morning, but a nice job and appreciate it, and he's probably got some. We'll see him later on in your show. Good job in your senior showmanship. We'll move on to our intermediates.
And your reserve grand champion junior Highland goes to entry number 500, CBS Evie, exhibited by Colton Cross of Kenderville, Pennsylvania. Congratulations to those Highland exhibitors. And placings for your senior division over in your Aberdeen Showmanship show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 16, Ella Patterson. Congratulations. Second place goes to entry number 25, Michael Patterson. And third place goes to entry number 17, Austin Pito. Congratulations to those exhibitors. And over in your American Aberdeen showmanship class, intermediate division is now in the ring. Again, your intermediate showmanship division over in your Aberdeen show is now in the ring. new batters in there?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was red. It was dead there.
We are now ready to start your open Highland show here at the 50th anniversary of the North American International Livestock Exposition. Now entering the ring is Class 1 Highland females. This female's date of birth is April 13th of 2023.
Pleasure to be with you here this morning for our Highland show. Again, at the 50th anniversary of the North American on the green shavings is always a big deal. And, you know, I got fortunate enough to sort the Highland show at Keystone last year and really got an affinity for the breed. I think that there's some awfully good cattle, so I've been looking forward to it. And with that being said, I think right out of the gate, we've got a really nice April heifer calf that sure checks a lot of the bells and whistles in the boxes that I'm going to look for today. Big at the ground and nice footed. She's good in her joints and nice in her angles. I think she's really nice out of her hip. I think when you get behind her and you study her and then you get from the side profile and look at her structure, she's just built really nicely. I think, you know, that one just on down the road has a tremendously good future. Way to start a really good way to start our day here on the Highland Ring.
And first place in Class 1 Highland females goes to entry number 2, Sturton Oaks Farm Lila, exhibited by John Todd of Harrisburg, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Class 2 Highland females here at the North American. These heifers' date of birth range from February 13th through January 12th of 2023. I would like to take this time to introduce your Open Highlander judge, Mr. Clint Hall. Clint and his wife Kelly Hall own and operate long haul cattle of Hillsboro, Ohio and Maysville, Kentucky. They are a multi-breed seed stock operation producing focusing on Charolais and Limousin cattle. They are also managing partners of Folly Farms, a Limousin farm. At Long Haul, they produce and merchandise show heifers, bulls, and replacements privately and through multiple annual online sales. Clint has judged numerous shows throughout the U.S. and Canada at all levels and is honored to be here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. If you could join me in giving Mr. Clint Hall a round of applause for being with us today.
Got a nice pair here in our second class, and I think it's an interesting comparison. And both these heifers are about a month apart in age, and so, you know, the decided factor is obviously the performance in the black heifer. But I think when you really start studying the cattle, you watch them on the go. I think this one stays better and truer in her top, and I think she stays better in her hip. She's just a little more level as you watch her go out through her top line. I like her added dimension, and I like her added bone work. You get behind them, she's got a decidedly big advantage in just terms of muscle when you look at her down low. And they don't, they need to look like ladies, and she does. I mean, her shoulder's good and her neck's good, and still gets out. I just like that added performance that she has over our red heifer calf in second. Our red heifer calf in second's really ultra cool out through her neck and through her front 1/3. I love her extension about her neck, and she does have that advantage over the black heifer. I think her deal today, and maybe it's because she's fighting the halter a bit, she wants to dip down in her pin bone and just raise her up in her spine as she gets out and goes. And if we could change that about her, and I think this one, as she gets on and goes and gets a little more relaxed, I think she's going to be a heifer that's going to be one that's going to be in major contention. Nice pair of heifers. I think both of them certainly have good things that we're looking for, and so I made a tough decision. Nice pair.
Our young person, our junior division here in showmanship on our American Aberdeens. I think 4 really good individuals. If you kindly would, if you're ringside, let's give them a quick round of applause, and then we'll talk them out through this. So I think it's close against amongst those, and that's what I got the opportunity to do. But I think the young lady, in terms of just some poise, does a good job. Between the 2 ladies that I have here in our top row, I think her transition from when she's walking to when she gets out when stopped is more consistent, and she gets that hand in the right location, and that allows her to get that heifer and to get it up and to get a nice and attractive look from the side profile. The young lady that has a nice heifer calf, I think that you do a great job, and in fact the best job in terms of keeping the head, control of the head, and making that front third look really good. Where I think you can get just a little bit better as we transition again into movement, like the young lady that wins and gets the purple ribbon here. Just help us out and get to walk into that, and that'll allow you a little bit more ease and a little bit more collaboration there with your heifer. But great job. Those 2 individuals are really close. Congratulations. You can start walking those out here in your junior division. I think that there's 2 here that we pull in 3 and 4 that also got a tremendous amount of talent. The young lady here led off this group, and I thought you did a great job. She was. It's fun and it's energetic when you can be the first one out there and you know that she's ready to go, and she is with her heifer here. A heifer there as we get kind of different spots. We'll pull her out, young lady. It's just understand that we got to get back into line as we need, but I know that this is a heifer that's worked with, really is certainly got some calmness, and I think they get along really good. And that's great when we can know that the young lady's going to have a positive experience with her heifer. Talented young man here as well, and so we'll have to go to more shows, right, young man, because he let his sister win this time, and that was kind of him, and but he probably won't the next time, because I think when you look at this guy, he's got a tremendous amount of just ring presence. When we're this young and still got that collaboration, I love how he's got that right hand right up there at the halter, so the heifer knows that he's still in charge and knows where to go. Maybe just a little bit, the heifer a little bit more sluggish there as we get out on the move, but that's just him doing a good job with a female that I think works really nice. 4 talented individuals, just a couple things in terms of style and kind of putting it together there with techniques that we sort those. Great job. Appreciate the chance to be here.
Over here in the Highland show, as we get into our first calf division, I think we got a nice pair of heifers. I think, there are only 3 in that division. I think all the way through we had 3 really high quality heifers. Just to compare these two a little bit, our heifer that wins the class, the smoky colored heifer, I like so many things about this one. She's a little more moderate, I guess, compared to the heifer behind us. Or behind her, but I think just from the ground up, this one's built really good. She's big and stout in her bone work. She's nice-footed. She's got enough base width as she goes away from you. I think that one's just got a lot of nice parts. She's good in her angles and good in her shoulder. I like her quite a lot. Our big heifer obviously has got some real nice attributes in terms of performance. She's tremendously deep-bodied. I think maybe when we put these two in motion, she doesn't stay quite as true at the ground as the one in front of her. Nice pair of heifers. Today we're going to use the heifer that wins the first class as our calf champion. Follow her up with this black heifer. It's really nice. Congratulations.
And placings in Class 2 over in your Highland show are as followed. First place goes entry number 3, a TC Maryland, exhibited by Tristan Carmack of Pleasantville, Kentucky. And second place in that class goes entry number 504, Hawfield's Marble, exhibited by Sarah Covington of Mebane, North Carolina. And your Division I champion Highland goes to entry number 2, Sturton Oak Farm, Isla, exhibited by John Todd of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And your reserve Division I champion goes to entry number 3, TC Maryland, exhibited by Tristan Carmack of Pleasantville, Kentucky. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring is Class 3 Highland females. These females' date of birth range from November 1st through September 23rd of 2022. Again, now entering the ring is Class 3 Highland females. And catching up over in your junior Aberdeen Showmanship contest, your intermediate division are as followed. First place goes to entry number 15, exhibited by Winston Anthony. And second place goes to entry number 23, exhibited by Abigail Anthony. And third place was Cara Dutton. Congratulations to those intermediate exhibitors. And placings in your junior division are as followed. First place goes to entry number 19, Lillian Wadsworth. Second place goes to entry number 20, exhibited by Coley Hill. And third place goes to entry number 24, Annie Anthony. And fourth place goes to entry number 21, William Wadsworth. And now in the ring is your Peewee Showmanship here in your Aberdeen show.
Over here on our Highland side, got a real nice pair of fall heifer calves, and I think both these heifers are pretty daggone good. But the one that wins the class, the young lady in the pink shirt, I think just really overpowers. And again, we talk about these cattle from the ground up, and we watch them get out and go. She's certainly the more flexible one. I really like her angles when she gets out and goes. She's certainly a little wider base width when you watch them from behind. You add that to the way she keeps her top line just so nice and so nice out to her hip. She's got plenty of spring to her rib. She's got plenty of depth to her rib. Really nice in her shoulder. And I think that one's just got a super good look. Our smoke-colored heifer is certainly really cool. From her hip forward, I think that one's cool. She's deep-bodied, balanced really well from her fore rib back to her flank. She wants to tuck down in her pin bones when she gets on the move, and it makes her put her top up just a little bit, but she wants to drop that hip. She's not quite as wide base as the one that gets out in front of her, but a nice pair here in our fall division. I think also they'll be, I think those are the only two in this particular division, so they'll also be champion and reserve in the fall division here. So give them a nice round of applause.
We've got 4 talented showmen that come out here in your Peewee Showmanship in your American Aberdeens, and so appreciate the chance for here in the junior show for all of these guys or one gentleman and 3 ladies to come out here and get the chance to be in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, each time they get to be out here is certainly rewarding, and again, the chance to not only build a relationship with those animals, but of course we're growing and raising kids and youth and successful adults as well. So we're going to give all 4 of these individuals are going to win a championship with a halter here on the end, and first one out gets choice. I think that's the race. No, but we'll allow those. Let's give those a quick Peewee Showmanship in your American Aberdeen a round of applause. 4 individuals. Good job.
And congratulations to all our Peewee Showmanship individuals on winning first place. We got Ripley Hill, Kaylee Stoller, Rihanna Stoller, and Taryn Stoller. Congratulations to those Peewee Aberdeen exhibitors. We're now ready to do your overall Aberdeen Showmanship champion. Again, we are ready to do your overall Aberdeen Showmanship champion here in Broadbent Arena. And placings in Class 3 over in your Highland show. First place and automatic Division II champion goes to entry number 6, TC Loretta, exhibited by Tristan Carmack of Pleasureville, Kentucky. And second place in Class 3 and automatic reserve champion goes to entry number 5, J. Bartiz Genesis, exhibited by John Keep of Summersville, Missouri. Please note entry number 4 was a scratch. Now in the ring is Class 4 Highland females.
Well, again, just a single entry, but another nice representative, I think, of your breed, and certainly one that's certainly deserving of a class winning, and I believe this might be a division also. Another real big-bodied female that you certainly see a lot of maternal look, real extended about her neck, and the way she comes out of the top side of her shoulder is certainly appropriate. I think she's good out to her hip. She's nice at the ground again and got some bone work that we certainly would call desirable. I think this heifer can certainly stand quite a bit more competition within her age division, and will be interesting to evaluate her when we get all those division champions back out. But congratulations. Give them a nice round of applause on a real nice representative here of that particular age division.
And first place in Class 4 over in your Highlander show and automatic Division 3 champion goes to entry number 7, FSH Fruit Punch, exhibited by Kevin Pirtle of Enns, Texas. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 5 Highland females. Again, now entering the ring is Class 5 Highland females. These females' date of birth range from April 26th through February 9th of 2022. And over in your Highland show, I would like to announce that we will be taking championship pictures after the show. Again, we will be taking all pictures at once after the show. And over in your Aberdine Showmanship show, we are doing your overall showmanship here in Broadbent. Again, we are selecting your overall champion showman.
We'll appreciate the chance to, again, we've got the portion of our show here of the American Aberdeens yet to come, but when I got the opportunity to judge the juniors and learn that we've got the showmanship, I think we've got an ample amount of time here today on a beautiful day in Louisville, America, to just get the chance to kind of build the relationships, obviously, there with the cattle, let them show off the expertise, because certainly people have came from a far away and some near as well, but just get a chance to get out here and showcase probably what these individuals of ones that they've raised and the ones that they've worked with at home. Really good group. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, let's give them a quick round of applause and we'll pick our Supreme Champion. So there's close decisions, of course, when we get out here. The young lady brings hers, I believe that's Iris, back out here, and I think that she does a nice job with it. That heifer just wants to get a little sluggish there and not kind of just show off maybe as ideally as the young lady's talents allow. but I know that she's got a tremendous amount of poise. I think then when we move up, it becomes a wash in terms of talents and certainly expertise, because I think all three of these individuals have been in the ring a bunch. The young gentleman at the front joins us from the University of Findlay and comes out of a tough collegiate division. I appreciated the efforts that he had, the control that he had at the front end of that one, and the heifer and getting her back in line. Young lady won hers with a heifer calf, and then brings a different one out here just to show her flexibility of talents, right? And so knowing that she can do a good job, I think that one works really nice and worked well as it was out here earlier in that showmanship drive. She does a good job of getting some nice things out of that. The young gentleman's got the heifer calf here next, and I think when we look at that one in terms of positioning and feet and legs, of how that one just puts a nice attractive profile to it, and the young man gets that head up and again just does a tremendous job, and I think that allows that heifer to just look super attractive as well. Plenty of talented people. I get to pick one supreme showman, and in fact you're going to win a custom table there for your ringside spots. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together for your champion. It's coming out of our intermediate division. It's our talented young man. I think he does a tremendous job. Good job. Congratulations, buddy.
And congratulations to your overall showmanship champion. Coming out of your intermediate division, entry number 15, Winston Anthony. Congratulations. And again, congratulations to all junior, all showmanship contestants. Again, congratulations. We will be ready to move into your junior full-blood female show over in your Aberdeen side. We will be ready for Class 122 Spring Heifer Calves. Again, we will be ready for Class 122 Spring Heifer Calves. These heifers' date of birth range from February 28th through February 5th of 2023.
Over here on our Highland side, really an excellent class, and you know, finally we got one that's really deep. And I think, you know, all these 7 heifers that we have out here certainly have a lot of good to them. You know, for me though, the easy decision was the heifer that wins the class, and she's being a little bit stubborn out here and not wanting to go, but when she does, you can sort of see that she's athletic and fluid in her build. She really just kind of ties what the next 2 heifers have together. I think, you know, in terms of length of side and length of hip, she has that. She's extremely good out of her shoulder, and the way she comes off the ground into her shoulder, and her neck comes out of the top side of her shoulder really well. I love her balance. When you get her on the side profile of this heifer and you look at her from her chest floor back to her flank, she just has that added extra depth of body that I just really like. And I just really like her balance, I guess, if you will. She's so good in her hip and really, really wide pinned. And I think that sets her apart from these 3, or these next 2, that when you get behind them, I think just that pin width, and really read a lot of maternal into that one just because of her pin width. I think the gray heifer, the chocolate colored heifer, is the one that's most like her. I think this one, compared to the heifer behind her, is better in her top line. I think she's better in her forerib. I like this one in her angles also. When this one gets out and goes, she really sets down appropriately. She's wanting to fight the young man now, but I just think that one's got such a nice look. A little extra length aside goes to this heifer that comes in third, and there's certainly some things that I like about this one quite well. But as you can see right here, sometimes she wants to get a little weaker in her top. She's not quite as tight in her structure when you look at her down her spine, and we changed that about that heifer. But I do love her added length of body, her added length of hip. She's the one of those first 3 that I felt like was probably the narrowest pinned, but I think that one's certainly wide enough pinned, and I think that one's got just a world of future. The biggest, most rugged, stoutest one is the heifer then 4th, but with that, she's a little coarser in her joint work. She's not quite as neat as you look at her. You know, she's got a little extra hair on her knee, so you got to really kind of study that. But with that being said, you know, if you take that hair off her knee, I don't think she sets back on her knee quite as well as those others. She's a little more rigid at the ground compared to those first 3. And I think that heifer, though, she has to be in that hole just because of her performance, her balance, just a really big centered one. Our heifer that comes out next is really presented well, and obviously she's the smallest of the cattle that we have out here. So from a performance standpoint, that hurts her a bit. But I think when you look at her in terms of her structure, she finds herself in that next hole. She's better than the heifer that follows her in her transition from her shoulder back to her forerib. And I think she just stays truer in her forerib. She's got more shape from behind. Just a really nice heifer. This next heifer, again, nicely presented one. This one, if we could change her ever so slightly from her, the way she comes into her forerib, into her shoulder, I'd like to change her. She needs to be a little bit wider base width than she is. I mean, she wants to get pretty narrow from behind. Again, a heifer that completes the class. High quality heifer here the young man has. I think when you analyze her to the ones above her, she just doesn't have quite that length of side. She doesn't have quite that length of hip. She doesn't have quite that length of front. What she does have is a big center dimension to her, and I like that. I think that one's got some profitable days as a cow on down the road. Really a good heifer to complete a nice class. Give those exhibitors a big round of applause, if you would.
And placings in Class 5 over in your Highland show are as followed. First place and automatic Division 4 champion goes to entry number 8, Lavender of Highland Spice, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And second place in that class, an automatic reserve division champion, goes to entry number 12, FSH Red Camellia, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Third place goes to entry number TC Lackland, exhibited by Kathy Grubbs. And fourth place in that class goes to entry number 11, T. Ross Summit Ranch Levy, exhibited by Claire Grimes of Waynetown, Indiana. Fifth place in that class goes entry number 505, Hawfield's Lady, exhibited by Sarah Covington of Maybane, North Carolina. Sixth place goes entry number 503, exhibited by Sarah Covington of Maybane, North Carolina. Seventh place in that class goes entry number 9, exhibited by Mason Grimes of Waynetown, Indiana. Eighth, and that concludes that class. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. Now in the ring is Class 6 Highland females.
Another nice single class entry here, and I think that this is also a division. Another big, broody, powerful one. Again, really draws a nice picture from the side and just got that extra depth of body. Again, another heifer that's balanced real well. I think she's extremely level out her hip, and when you get behind her, she's certainly wide built, and I like that about her. Still feminine enough about her front 1/3, and still looks like a lady. Just like that extra power. We get back out her and we get the other divisions out. We'll discuss her a little further, but give them a nice round of applause on a real nice heifer.
And first place in Class 6 and automatic Division 5 champion goes to entry number 500, CBS Evie, exhibited by Colton Cross of Kendallville, Pennsylvania. Congratulations. And we are now ready to select your grand champion Highland female here at the 50th anniversary of the North American.
We get to start off with February heifer calves here in your American Aberdeen show, and I think there's interesting pieces to choose between, but truthfully I never really question which one my class winner is. The young lady's got one here. Again, she was just a little stubborn there, but that's okay. I think we got her, when we look at her at a quality standpoint, even just so many nice things. I love the openness that you find in her rib cage. I just like the stoutness that you find in terms of just her overall body cavity. I'm not going to call her the most feminine about her head and neck, and maybe that's where you'd ideally like to change her, but I appreciate just the moderation. I think one that as we evaluate how she's going to develop, just has the most future to me, the most quality build. The one that comes into the 2 spot, I think, does so in an intriguing package for us. Again, it's not particularly about, obviously, performance with these, but I think when we read this one of one that started at 45 pounds on a birth weight, and I think she's got plenty as she continues to grow. In terms of balance, this one's the one that's way more feminine neck than the one that we called the class winner. I think that she's open enough in terms of her body shape and the center part of her body as well. I think her levelness in her hip, her rear leg structure in that femininity allows her the spot kind of over the one that comes in next in line. We did have to give up some performance because here's the other big-bodied one that's got some of that extra grow to her on a weight per day of age. But I think when we look at her, she's one that maybe cuts up in proportionally a little bit more in terms of her flank. I think she gets tighter in terms of her hip and how she handles that hock and rear leg structure just ever so slightly. This one's just fresh and youthful, and it just happens to be that there's some other ones that have some other positive pieces. But as we evaluate her as an individual, she's pretty nice. She's feminine, she's straight-topped. I think that she's one that's going to continue to grow and continue to get better. The pieces are there. 4 nice individuals to start out your junior show of the American Aberdeens at the 50th anniversary North American.
Well, over here on our Highland side, as we prepare to pick a champion and reserve, again, you know, there's nothing like showing at the North American. I mean, you can go anywhere in basically in the world, and this is a prestigious event that's obviously had lots and lots of extremely high-quality cattle that have entered the green shavings. And I think, you know, you folks that are exhibitors and breeders of these Highlands should be extremely pleased with what you got today. I think it's one of the earlier events here for the Highland breed at the North American, and you know, I think you've set pace for years down the road to just intensify and increase your quality, and I challenge you to do that. Because you're going to have a tough task. I mean, we only had the 5 decisions and not a lot of numbers, but boy, these cattle are good, and I mean that sincerely. You know, I as I said earlier today, I had the opportunity to judge a pretty big show of them a couple of times. One time up east in Massachusetts, and then last year in Pennsylvania. And so I've had the opportunity to sort through some of these cattle that I feel like have been really good, and I think we've got cattle here today that are extremely representative of the breed, and extremely a good set that I think are good today as show heifers. But probably more importantly, these look like ones that will be highly productive down the road as cows. So we've got a little time. I'm going to discuss, and I'm sorry for you Aberdeen folks, but we're going to discuss them a little bit so you can kind of see as I see them comparatively. The heifer calf that won that first division is just ultra cool. I think, you know, that one's got a world of future to her. I love her feminine look through her head and her neck, and she's so extended in her shoulder. She's so good down through her neck, down through her chest floor. And with that, she carries that balance back to her flank really well. I think, you know, relative to some of the other cattle, and part of this is because she is young and she is very skinny. She's a little narrower based as she goes away from you. But I think those are things that will come as the fatter that heifer gets and the longer she's on feed. I just see her exploding into a really nice one. The heifer that won that second division, when she's on the profile, she's got as good a look as any in her hip. She's, again, a long-sided one. You know, relative to a couple of the others, she's a little flatter in her rib from behind, but I think that one's sure in the run because I think that one's, her design and her build is extremely good. Real big centered heifer that comes out of that next class, and in terms of performance is probably as high performing as any we have out here. You know, I guess when we get right up on that heifer and we study her, she doesn't transition from her shoulder into her forerib quite as nicely as a couple of the others. She wants to get just tucked in ever so slightly in her heart, but we certainly appreciate her just in terms of her performance and her power. The heifer that come out of that last class, when she gets stopped, boy, she gives you a deadly look. I mean, that one, you know, her angles are so good. She's so good in her foot, good up through her in her pastern and in her hock. lays in. If you look at her front leg, and she's got that banana look to her front leg where her knee sets back in her very comfortably, comes up with the appropriate amount of slope to her shoulder. And I love the way she comes out of the top side of that shoulder. Really gives her that extra look of femininity. You go back on past that shoulder, that heifer's got plenty of rib and just plenty of balance, and I think that one's just awfully, awfully good. This young man's heifer's an intriguing one because she is powerfully designed. She's tremendously big-ribbed and big-topped and power to ground, power all the way through. You know, as you watch her go, she gets a little higher in her top line, and I'd like to soften her down there. But, you know, in terms of just balance and power, boy, that one's sure in the run. But, you know, for me, it's a pretty easy decision on our champion today, and I'll go select her. Might get a little tougher in our reserve, but give them a nice round of applause. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today to sort through your heifers. Congratulations on a great bunch.
And your grand champion Highland female here at the 50th anniversary North American goes to entry number 8, Lavender of Highland Spice, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Congratulations.
And the crowd went wild in the Highland side, but we're back over here at the American Aberdeen side for the 50th anniversary here. And we got 2 ringers as well here just coming out of the September and October division. I'm going to opt for the one that the young man calls Jasmine, and I think she's really, really good. When you think of just moderation of frame and just correctness of design, I think this one draws an attractive silhouette. When we just read her just a little bit more critically, you just love the levelness to her top line, the openness to the rib, and in fact, I think I got a brother-sister pairing there or whatever, and or at least colleagues, and the young lady said, well, he's got the better one. The young gentleman said, I got to decide. And so I choose that one, and I think that Jasmine's the best one for us today. That's a nice kind of female here in our moderated kind of a spot. The young lady's actually has a little bit more length of spine, and again, that's not good or bad. That's just the way she is, and I like length. I like that attractiveness, and I think she might be just a little bit more refined in terms of the femininity up front. That refinedness that we find in terms of her nature, though, also balances kind of the bottom side of her body. She becomes a little frailer in her overall bone work, a little bit more closed up in terms of her chest floor and the mid-rib that we find, maybe not quite as dead level in her hip set. 2 very nice females. It's still quality that sorts a nice pair of them. Congratulations to the young gentleman on winning the battle this time. Good job.
Over here on the Highland, you know, we talked about all those division winners, and we picked us a champion heifer. I want to talk about this one that come out of that second class, or that was second in that particular class, and that was a tough class, as you'll recall. We had the most entries of any class, but you know, this one I think is just ultra cool. I think, you know, when you study them again at the ground and follow her up, and then look at her flank, and then go follow her underline, she's balanced again so neatly. I think that one's really complimentary as she gets out and goes. I think that makes a nice pair, and congratulations, young man. She'll be our reserve today.
And correction over in your Highland show, your grand champion Highland here at the 50th anniversary of the North American goes to entry number 12, FSH Red Camille, exhibited by Michaela Massey of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And your reserve grand champion Highlander goes to entry number 8, Lavender of Highland Spice, exhibited by Michaela Massey, again of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Congratulations to those Highland exhibitors. And again, we will be ready for your Class 7 Highland Bulls. Again, we will be ready for Class 7 Highland Bulls. And placings in Class 126 over in your Junior Full-Blood Aberdeen show goes to entry number 8, TCS Jasmine 61F 39K, exhibited by exhibited by Winston Merger and Anthony Chester. Second place in that class goes to entry number 9, T.S. Carmen, 23H, exhibited by Abigail Anthony of Chester, New Hampshire. Those will also automatically be your champion senior heifer calf and reserve champion senior heifer calf. And placings in Class 122 over in your full blood show are as followed. First place goes entry number 4, AWC House Suite 02L, exhibited by ANW Cattle of Havner, Ohio. Second place goes entry number 2, EMP Super Sassy, exhibited by Patterson Family Farm of Findlay, Ohio. Third place goes entry number 5, AWC Trixie Roo 01L, exhibited by A&W Cattle, Haviland, Ohio. Fourth place goes to entry number 3, EMP Black Gold, exhibited by Ella Patterson of Findlay, Ohio. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Single entry with the young man's heifer here that he calls Crystal, and I think a really attractive one. We get the side profile here because, again, with cooperation with the North American and Show Barn Flicks, he can have his own fan club at home watching online, all right? And so they probably are, and hopefully they're cheering as loud as we are when we find this one. I think in terms of just levelness of design, man, you just have to like this one. You know, big, small, medium, it doesn't matter. Good cattle are good cattle, and this one, just in terms of femininity and design and that extra amount of length in relation to her frame, and I think that length of hip just kind of matches as well, and that allows that just big old soft kind of a pastern and hoof to hit the ground, and just a real productive kind of a female here as she kind of moves on in her growth and development. Congratulations, young man. First in the class, first in America today. Good job.
Get started on our Highland show. Just a couple of bulls and a nice June bull calf here to start off with. A bull calf, it's a big testicle and got some power to him. You get behind him and study him. He's got some true muscle shape down his top. You know, I think we'll just further comment on him when he comes back out in contention for a division. But a nice single entry. Give the young man a nice round of applause.
And first place in Class 7 Highland Bulls goes entry number 14, J. Bartiz Levick, exhibited by John Keep of Summersville, Missouri. Congratulations. That will also be your automatic Division I champion.
Well, again, just another single entry, but a bull that certainly brings a lot to the table. I think, you know, you look at these cattle and you watch this one walk in and certainly see a lot of flexibility and athleticism about this young guy. I think this bull is extremely good out his hip and long and level. We'll discuss him a little further when we have these two division champions in here. Nice bull representing your breed and nice one representing that particular age division.
Single entry with a April heifer calf, and I think one that in terms of body shape is certainly adequate. I think she's feminine in how she's built. I'd like to change her just a smidge in terms of how her hip is designed, and that consequently kind of gets that rear leg kind of a little bit up underneath her maybe as she goes. But I think it doesn't hurt her from a functionality standpoint. Just maybe aesthetically we could make her just a tick more attractive in comparison, but foundationally and functionality, I mean, this one's one that's got a lot of good to her. We're going to allow her to compete in the next quick division of this championship, and so appreciate her bringing out an April heifer, and we'll pick a division champion next.
And ladies and gentlemen, over on your Highland side, let's put our hands together for your judge today, Mr. Clint Hall, for being out here on the green shavings with us today. We'll now be ready to select your Grand Champion Highland Bull. Again, now in the ring is the selection of your Grand Champion Highland Bull and placings in Class 8 Bulls. First place goes entry number 501, HHH Black Canyon, exhibited by Emily Young. Congratulations. Again, now in the ring is a selection of your Grand Champion Highland Bull.
Well, again, I appreciate being with you folks today and sorting your Highland cattle, and I I really think you guys are setting some groundwork, some really big things within your breed and within the industry. I think that you're catching people's attention, and so I urge you and encourage you to keep that heat on, and just I think it's going to be a fun ride for you folks. And I think that you can certainly enjoy what's going on within your breed. You know, as we get these two bulls out here, I think they're going to represent your breed nicely. I think when we compare the two, though, there's one that surfaces up to the top. But, you know, our smoky-colored or gray-colored bull here certainly brings some things to the table in terms of just bone work, and he's got some mass to his top. He's pretty thin in his condition, so it's what you kind of see is what you get. And with that, you know, he's a big, wide bull that's got a lot. He's got a extremely wide pen set. He's got some shape to his top. You know, for this one, I wish we could get out and maybe make him just a little more flexible off those rear too. And that's where, you know, our black bull that stands behind him certainly has the added advantage. You know, you watch this one and he's just ultra comfortable in the way he sets down at the ground and stays really nice in his hock, and just looks like one that can cover a whole lot of cows when he gets older. He's extremely good in his hip. As you get off to the side and you study this one from hooks to pins, he's just dead level. I think his tail head sets down in him appropriately. I think that bull's just got an awful lot to offer and a nice package. Congratulations. He'll be our champion here at the 50th North American. Congratulations. I'm going to follow him up with this bull in front of him. Nice pair of bulls. Congratulations. Give him a big round of applause.
We've got a division to sort through here on our American Aberdeen side, and I think it's just logical as we look at these. Again, both of them are fundamentally got enough rib shape and femininity and design. I think the young man's that comes with the May division in comparison to the young lady's April, that one's flashier in her overall build. She's leveler in her hip design, and I think more athletic and better in terms of her skeleton and structure. Let's help us and congratulate. The gentleman's going to win this close decision. Good job on your division win. Congratulations, young lady. You'll be reserve in this division. Good job.
And your grand champion Highland bull over in your Highland show at the 50th anniversary of the North American goes to entry number 501, HHH Black Canyon, exhibited by Emily Young. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion Highland bull goes to entry number 14, J. Bartiz Levick, exhibited by John Keep of Summersville, Missouri. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring will be your Get of Sire here in your Highland show. Again, entering the ring now will be Get of Sire. And catching you up over in your junior full-blood Aberdeen show, first place in class 130 goes inch number 13, EZ Crystal 33K, exhibited by Winston McGregor and Anthony Chester. And congratulations to that exhibitor. And first place in class 131 goes inch number 14, SME Red Asher, exhibited by Ripley Hill of Sandell, Kentucky. Congratulations.
We've got a single entry September heifer calf here, and I think one that has some neat pieces to her. The thing that I like best is that she's really nice in terms of how she blends into her shoulder and just has that really attractive feminine head and look to her. I think when you look at her from the shoulder back, maybe she's adequate. I think that she could have a little bit more depth and sweep to that rear rib, and that would maybe just allow her to kind of just loosen up a little bit in terms of her hip shape and design, but plenty of muscularity and just true width. I like the femininity as well. Just loosen her up and ticking her structure if we were to be a little bit critical of one that's very nice and fits the class here as your class winner in the September division.
And congratulations to your junior yearling heifer over in your Aberdeen show. Goes to inch number 13, Easy Crystal through 3K, exhibited by Winston McGregor and Anthony Chester. And your reserve division goes to inch number 14, SME Red Asher, exhibited by Ripley Hill of Sendale, Kentucky. And first place in automatic champion senior yearling female goes to entry number 19, UF Mustang Sally 20J, exhibited by Erica Patterson of Findlay, Ohio. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring will be the selection of your grand champion of full-blood Aberdeen female here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. Again, now entering the ring will be the selection of your grand champion of full-blood Aberdeen female. That will conclude your Highland show here at the 50th anniversary of the North American International Livestock Exposition. We do congratulate all Highland exhibitors and breeders on a successful show, and we hope to see you back here next year at the 2024 North American. Safe travels going home, and God bless.